What's going on, drivers? We are just a month away from more than 163,000 CDL holders in the United States losing their license. But before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate it. Helps me out, helps the channel out. I really do appreciate that. All right, some things are going to be changing with the clearinghouse. And anybody that's on prohibited status is going to be losing their CDL. The current number of CDL holders projected to lose their CDL on November the 18th of 2024 is 163,318. Now, I spoke about this a little bit before, but we didn't know if it was really going to come to fruition, that this is something that was really going to happen. But this is going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something that is coming. Don't know how many of these drivers are actually employed at the time. These SAP companies out here are probably fixing to really be hurting. So that this may pick up the freight rates a little bit. 100,000 people losing their CDLs or 150,000 people losing their CDL is quite a big hit to the industry. This also is going to be affecting permit holders as well. Anybody that has failed a drug test, hasn't completed the program, and is in restricted or prohibited status is set to lose their CDL in a month. So these drivers that are out there working and fixing to lose their CDL, they better get as many miles as they can, because it looks like that's going to be the end of it for them until they get their stuff taken care of. Now, they said these CDLs will either be denied or reduced back down to a regular driver's license. So it's not like they're going to lose driving privileges altogether. They just will not be able to drive commercial vehicles. And this is in an effort for the federal government to ensure that only safe, compliant drivers are out on the highways, not anybody in a prohibited status. Now, this is going to really hurt those, like some people, when they failed a drug test, they had a hard time going to find another job. So they go out and buy a truck. So there's a ton of owner-operators out here that have been running on this status and not taking care of their obligation. And their way around it was going and buying a truck or leasing a truck, or however they went about that, to become an independent contractor. So you're going to see a ton of these guys falling out of the industry. So it's going to be wild times. It's going to be interesting to see what this is going to do to the market. Whether we're going to see a big uptake, a lot of freight rates going up, or whether it's going to affect it at all. Now, there was a statement where a news organization asked the question, which I actually thought of myself, and I'm sure you're probably thinking of right now as well. How can they knock out 163,000 drivers? Or 163,000 plus drivers. Isn't that going to hurt the economy? And they always claim there's a driver shortage, in quotations, a driver shortage. Why would you make that worse? Well, they pretty much admit that there is no driver shortage in their response, because their response was trucking schools today put out more than 100,000 students a year combined. And that's industry wide. So there's plenty of people coming into the industry. There's no need to keep these non-compliant drivers employed. They can go find other employment. So by making that statement, they just proved there is no driver shortage. I truly believe they only claim there's a driver shortage because they can expedite visas and work visas and things like that, bringing people over from overseas. It's another way of bypassing the door for immigration. I really think that's what they do when they claim there's a driver shortage. It also helps keep the rates down. As they claim there's a driver shortage, the schools are pumping people out. It helps keep the rates down because you got a flood of drivers. And what one driver isn't willing to do, another one is. And what an American driver isn't willing to do, a foreign driver is. That's the biggest reason that protests don't work anymore. You can get all the Americans together and say, hey, we're not going to go to New York City. We don't like what's happening. I guarantee you those foreign drivers, they don't give two craps about our politics. They don't care what our reason is. They'll take that load and they'll go to New York City. They don't really care. So we've got enough foreign drivers in the country now that protesting for an American truck driver will not work. Unless you're going to block the roads or you're going to block getting in and out of truck stops or anything like that, I mean, it's just not going to work. It's not going to hold much of an effect to where we can get what we want. Those days, I believe, have passed, and that's just my own personal opinion. I believe the days of us having the ability to do that have passed. I believe there's enough foreign drivers over here now that we wouldn't really have that large of an impact if we did protest. That's just my own opinion. You may have a different one, and if you do, drop down in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are. You know, if you've got a place for me to go look at numbers and things like that, and show me where you get your opinion from. Hey, I'm more than willing to go check it out, and I will go look and see what the numbers actually are. I'm just running off what I see out here on the roads. Anyhow, back to the topic at hand. That's a lot of drivers. 163,318 is a lot of drivers set to lose their CDL or permits. That's going to create a lot of job openings. These SAP companies are probably really fixing to be hurting for drivers. That may cause the rates to go up, may cause some companies to increase their company driver pay. And it's going to really be a benefit to those who have followed the rules and are not using narcotics or failing drug tests out here on the highway. Anyway, just wanted to bring this to y'all. See what y'all's thoughts are on this situation. Let me know what you're thinking about. Let me know what your thoughts are. I appreciate each and every one of you that stop by here. We may not always agree, but we are family out here. We are truckers. Y'all take care, stay safe, and keep trucking.